Hello back everyone to my channel. We're gonna continue with the mini-series of the Pinnacles. Now we are halfway through and we have the child will number 5. So first, as every time, I'm gonna explain the main energy of the Pinnacle number 5 in a positive way, and involves communication, change, experience during this Pinnacle. Life provides you with the opportunity to expand your life experience and explore the world around you. You will gain the ability to communicate more effectively with others, and many new people will come across your path. Life will send you many new and exciting experiences, and you will learn the importance of self-discipline and moderation. There will be opportunities to promote yourself and to adapt to the many changes you undergo, and providing you with a flexible and adaptable, grounded discipline and focus energy, because there is a potential for happiness and success during this Pinnacle number 5, which involves pure energy. It also involves some kind of chaos, and that chaos will represent a change, because the number 5, it's energy itself. So there's a lot of movement, a lot of motion, a lot of change, a lot of chaotic energy, but also positive results after the chaos that involve these changes, to evolve your spirit, your mind, your perception, and the way you move forward in life, as is the number 5, which is energy itself. So when we born under this pinnacle in the first stage in life, it turns into a wound. So the child wound number 5 represents the need for this child to adapt, basically, because adaptation and acceptation to oneself, it's a must under this pinnacle in the first stage in life. So the child lived a very chaotic childhood. As I said, 5 is also chaos and a lot of change. That's what it represents, the need for adaptation and acceptation as a must to do. So it's a learning path, basically, okay? So with a lot of on and off situations and lack of structure in the house. As I said, this energy, and energy is always in motion, it's not static. And it also represents emotions, because the emotions are in constant cycling. So the lack of structure in the house, as I said, possibly the family moved a lot. Like I said, this motion, from time to time they move, they change houses or something in between, and the parenting roles were inverted. So whereas the mother played a more strong role, or with a manipulative and strong attitude towards the members of the family, and the family, the father in the family, it's a fragile type, or where the father did not comply with his parental role as a strong family head of household in this case. In any case, the mother manipulated the child to follow this type of aggressive behavior at home, allowing her to influence in his or her personality. We're talking about the child, of course, dominated by anger and aggression, because the number 5 is also aggression. It's impulsive and it's aggressive and it's anger. And it's also illness in some cases, but this is a deeper state of explaining numerology. Sometimes the numbers have different, what can you say, like meanings, and it depends where the number is placed in the chart, the numerological chart of the person, if we talk about an individual. But in this case, we're talking about the pinnacle as the first pinnacle, not the second or the third or any other. So Well, what we can do to heal this energy, well, we basically have to look for implementing more structure in our lives, um, and more sense of feeling for what home truly means for us. Because since the 5 was always in a on the go kind of thing, like moving places, or it was a house with tons of chaos, there was not a sense of feeling like we truly belonged to a place that we can call home within our hearts, you know. So where things actually can be more steady for us and we feel at home, and the sense of family, that whatever we can call family or think is our family, even me and my cat represents it. It's the core base for the sense of home, and we have to do the best that we can to overcome this sense of rage or fear at some point, to accept those changes that we been through most of our childhood or adolescent or teenager stage. So the big tendency to experience and confront situations with traumatic events, also we have to overcome these feelings, like possible sexual abuse from the parents also. And this is a very specific point here. It is not, like I said all the time, it's not set in stone, but it's a possibility, it's a tendency, because the number 5 also in the numerology chart of an individual represents it's sexual energy. So if there are too many 5s, is out of place, and if they're too little, there's lack of libido. So this is a very specific topic when we talk about the pinnacle. So it's a possibility, because there's a lot of trauma, a lot of chaos, a lot of movement, sexual energy that are out of place possibly. And with these traumatic events, we have to do our best to find help to overcome this traumatic situation, if it happens, of course. Or maybe to the lack of sleep also, with this number and the first stage in life, could lead to some kind of insomnia. So it's also important to oversee that with a psychotherapist. Or maybe also the children had to share the vet with one of the parents, which is okay under certain age and circumstances, but it's better to use our best judgment for this. So, and when we share the room with siblings or the parents, things seems to be more into the intimate way. So like our sexuality when we are children are exposed to the other people that share the room with us, you know, and we are in a vulnerable stage in life. So with tweezers, please, okay? Just like I always said, with tweezers. This is a sensitive topic, but the number 5 involves all those type of things, and it's important and necessary to substitute the figure of the weak father to habilitate yourself in the world as a whole being, and to assume your responsibilities also as an adult, as a grown-up, and ditch out any sense of unconscious cowardice and get out and play, or meaning play your own life, breaking the umbilical cord connection with the mother, also to find your own way of freedom, because it's important to keep moving, because the number 5 is moving, so you have to keep moving to overcome this, right? But moving forward until you find your own path, regardless if you lack of clear direction in life. But it's a must to keep moving, to avoid any way of cowardice, any way of simplicity, and the way you're taking your life when you grow up and you feel like this is not what I want for me. So this child will face the so this child must get face to face with the temperance along their way to build a strong sense of self with inner strength and much more flexibility in their lives, since the only truth that they will find is that everything changes and nothing is permanent. That the only permanent thing in life is the impermanence itself. So when we understand this, it's important to attain consciousness that even the things that we think or perceive by our personal perception, of course, are still in motion, although we see them static, because everything is a perception. Like the world has day and night, evening, afternoon, midnight, and the world still in motion, is in permanent and constant rotation, but we don't sense that. We just see the cycle of the day and night constantly. So when we attain consciousness, we understand that everything is in constant motion, energy is in constant motion, even though we don't see it. It's flow and it's fluctuation. So it's a very principle for the child to fulfill their life path and live a full life with joy, a true joy. So yeah, this is very, very, very important. So if you born under this pinnacle, it's important to understand that all the events, the traumatic events that you possibly live during this first stage in life, does not set in stone who you are. It was just a passage or a transition to forge your personality and to teach you or to push you to overcome challenges, bigger challenges in your life. So it's important to assume the responsibility to this stage in life to overcome any type of unconscious cowardice, because the number 5 implies also to hide in some areas or aspects in your life of the trauma and live in denial. So when you attain consciousness, when you take responsibility, you break all patterns. And when you break all patterns, you can cut the umbilical cord connection with the mother, who was the person in this pinnacle number 5 in the first stage in life, the person who took control over your life, and the father was the minimized being in this essence, in this part of your first stage in life. And why I say this is because the figure of the father give us the strength in life, and it's important to have a strong figure, whoever is a parental role playing. In this case could be the biological father or the stepfather, the grandfather, doesn't matter. It's just the archetypical role of who played this in your life when you were a kid. So you learn from that person to be weak or to be strong. So that's very, very important, is key. People that have this traumatic situation with the father, if it was abused, if it was the lack of a good role, parental role as a father figure in their childhood, they tend to have or develop in adulthood loss of hair. They have thin hair, they have loss of hair, or they have brittle hair, but it's related to the hair. So if this is connected with you and you have also these problems in or situations in your biology, now you know what is the cause for it. Okay, so all the best for you, and until the next time, bye bye.